So on this one, we'll be creating a project that we create the instance, database, and tables, not manually, but automatically when it runs. So each and every time it runs, it will check for those things, and if it doesn't find them, it will auto create them. This is going to help with the following. When you submit, it's either you submit with your queries, which is what database queries, or you make sure that you submit both, which is what the class that is also creating the instance, database, and tables, and also with what with the file that have all the queries for creating what your instance, for creating your database, for also creating your tables, so that by the time your application connects to them, it finds them. We are still going to use the same template, which is what the MVC one, which is the ASP.NET Core Web App Model View Controller, which is the one that we have been using. And then I will name my project instance DB example. Okay, so on this part, it is still the same thing. We don't change anything. We leave it as it is. For the framework, we leave it as 8.0, and also for the authentication type, leave it as none. For configuration, also leave it as it is, and then click create. Okay, so first thing first, you have to install a package. This package, it is SQL data client. So it is system.data.sql client. So how do you get to install this package? So I will show you how to install the package, but first thing that you have to know is that each and every project that you get to create, you have to install it. So it means on your project right now, if you are not using what the SQL LocalDB, that means you're going to do to install it. It's either you install the Microsoft one or you install what this one that I'm going to install. So what you have to do, you have to right click on your project name. So we have solution instance, which is what the name of the project, the namespace, and then we have what the name of the project without solution and also without what one project. We don't right click there. We right click on the name of what the project. We right click on the name of the project, and then you look for manage NuGet packages. That is under add option, and then you click on this one. When you click on it, it will show you all what the installed packages, and it will say no packages found because we haven't like done anything on this project. So we're going to browse. Okay, so the thing that you're going to search for, it will be system.data.sql client. So is there is the first one that appears there, which is this one. Click on it. So if you see there are two of them, which is Microsoft.data.sql client, and then there is system.data.sql client. So you click on the first one and then you install and you accept everything that is going to pop up here, which is what accept and apply. Okay, so once it is done, it means we are going to continue. So if it's your first time installing these things, it's either it says accept, and after accepting, it asks for you to apply, and then you just click apply. Don't decline. If you decline, you have to redo everything again. And then now we are going to create a model. So this model, it will be our class for auto creation of the instance and database and tables. And then we are going to call the method that will be responsible for auto creating these things on the action method of the index, because that is the first method that gets to be executed when we run our project. So we want these things to be checked immediately when we run our project. So you're going to right click on this folder, which is what models. You right click on the models folder. When you right click on the models folder, you will add a new item. So when you add a new item, you're going to give your class a name, which is your C# class. So just say auto create instance db tables, and make sure that the format here is .cs for the C# class, so that it can be a model. And then now my model here is what auto created. So here is the thing. There is a code that is already done, which is under study plug codes. You go to study plug. When you go to study plug, you go to codes, and when you go to codes, you select C sharp, and then you look for a post that talks about creation of instance, database, and tables. That is the code that you are going to use. And going forward, we are going to use the code or whatever tables that will be created there by the code to test for logins, register, and also for inspecting of the claims, and also for retrieving. And then you go to your web browser. When you go to your web browser, you search studyplug.africa, and then you go to codes. After codes, you select C sharp. After selecting C sharp, you go to creating instance, database, and tables. And then you just click this icon there that says copy all, and then you will return to your code inside your class. So this is your class. As you can see, you have your opening calibrate here, and you have your opening calibrate here. So everything's going to be inside here. So you just paste it there. And then, so now here is the thing. So the errors are for what? Are for these functions or these classes here, which is what the SQL connection, the SQL commands, which are the things that have been used to execute and also for opening the connection. So once it gets you recognize what this one here, they will disappear. But if you didn't install this, it is going to give you an error. So once everything is sorted and also the package has been installed successfully, it won't give you problems. So now, as you can see here, we have a method for check and create local DB instance, and also for what check and create database, and also for check and create tables. So once everything is checked there, then it will show the message, and if something failed, then it will also show you the message. But what is it that it will be using to show the message? It will be the command that pops up when you run your project. So now the instance name, it is claim underscore system, which is something that we have used in class as an example. And then also for the database, it is claims underscore database, which is something we have also used in class. So also for the connection string to the instance only, so that it can auto create the database, and also for the connection string to the database, so that it can do it, create all the tables for you. So what is it that we are going to call? We're going to call this method inside the controllers. It means you're going to expand the controllers folder, and then you click on home controller. In home controller, you're going to look for the index, which is this one here, which is the index action method. Here you're going to create an instance for the class or model, auto create db instance and tables. So now you are going to put the name of the class first, or the name of the model first, and after that you give it an object name. After giving it an object name, you assign using one equal sign, will be followed by the new the new keyword. After the new keyword, you are going to put the name of the class again, open bracket, close bracket, and then semicolon, which is something like this: auto underscore create underscore instance underscore db underscore table, and then I will just say create because we created and we are checking, and it will be equal to what new, which is what new class, and then open bracket and close bracket and then semicolon. I'm going to use the object name. Use object name to call the auto create method, and then I'll just say create with a dot operator, and then which method am I looking for? I'm looking for initialize. So here is the thing now. When I run it now, it will pop up. If the instance is found, it will say the instance already what exists, and then also same thing with the db, and also same thing with the tables. And then now I'll just run it, and as it is building, as you saw, the window thing popped up, and then it's this one. So this is where it will be showing you that you see. So it says why the local DB instance claim underscore system already exists, and then now it will be checking for the database and also for the tables. And by the time it is done, everything will be working perfectly. But here is the thing: the app it is already what it is already running. As you can see here, the app it is already what running or loading. And then I'll just go back here, and then as you can see, it says what it says: database claims underscore database it is what verified or created, and tables user and claims verified or created, and then everything have been loaded successfully. So this is the app now, it have loaded. And then another thing is that in order for you to see most of these things, if you don't want to use commands or like SQL server, which is what SQL server management, you are going to click on more options on study plug, and then you go to tools. After tools, you go to set server. When you go to set server, you click here on the download zip, and then you download it. And how do you open it? So to open it is very easy. I'll show you how to open it. So after downloading, you extract it, and after extracting, you will go inside the folder. Inside the folder, it's where you are going to look for set server application. So it will be like this. So you look for set server application here, which is this one here. So you double click on it. So if it's your first time, you click on more option. If it says don't run, and then you say run anyway, and then it will load. So most of the time it will ask you to run as an admin, and then you allow it to run as an admin so that it can help you to manage all the instances and also the connection. So this application, it will allow you to create, delete, rename, whatever you want to rename. Actually, it's either tables, insecting, getting connection code, getting insecting code. So it'll be up to you what is it that you want to use it for. And then as you can see, there was 5 instances. And now it's validating the setup. Okay, so here on the create option, as you can see, it says create instance, create table, and then you click on create instance. If I already have an instance, I won't have to create it, but to show you that I do have an instance that it is already running or already exists, and then I'll just try to create it. And then as you can see here, it's showing me what the error message of the instance claim underscore system already exists, no action is taken. So it's failed to do to create the instance. Please check the details. And then if I clear, and then I say example for the instance, and then just click create. As you can see here, it is executing the command. And then as you can see, it says what instance created successfully. Do you want to view the connection code? If I click yes, it will show me the connection code. So since I don't want the connection code, it just gives me what the connection string, which is something that it is in that code that we just pasted from study block. Then I'll just clear everything. I'll click here to go back. As I go back, and then on this one, as you can see, the first instance there to be listed, there is what claim underscore system. So as it was loading, it found like 5 instances. So I created one using the application. So right now it is showing 6 because I just added an instance. And also it says what automatically selected instance, it is claim underscore system. And then I'll just proceed with this one, which is claim underscore system. And then now it's showing me all the databases. It says what manage databases, and then just click on this one. So if I don't have a database, then I'll create it using this one. So let's say I just want another database. Just say car, and then I'll say successfully, and then I'll select the database car, and then now it's just verifying, and then it will proceed on its own. So as you can see here, new database created, and then wait, and then also with the other stuff. So here it's just showing the what the process, and then I'll just enter the table name. I'll just say parts, the how many columns I want to have on the table, and then I'll just say 3. So this one I can remove, and then I can add the columns. So it's up to me. So it's either say okay, this one is the ID, and then on this one it's more of showing you which data type requires a length and other stuff. So it will be an integer, no length is required. Then I'll just say name, then I'll just say okay, price on this one, and then you just say okay, decimal, and then yeah, let's see if it proceed with this one. So here after clicking next for creating the table, just show me the successful message with the query, and also with the table, how the table is for my table creation. And then done with that. So to manage everything, you click on manage. and then you expand the instance that you are working with, and then this is the new database that I have. So on this new database, I'll just click on the table, which is part. So as you can see, I have nothing there. And then let's see on this one also. And this one is for the claims, and then let's see for the parts. For the parts, I have nothing, but this one I must have something. Yeah, this one I have something. Sorry, I was still loading. It took time. So this one, something that I was just using to test, and then also for the claims, as you can see, for the claims, also for the documents pending pre-approved as it was required there. And then if I want to delete, I can delete. If I want to rename, I can rename. It depends on what is it that I want to do. So here on this one, which is what it claims, I can add a column, and then I can view. I can also do get the UML diagram code, and then I can insert if I want to store manually, and then I can generate methods. So these all methods, same thing that we pasted on our project from study block, and then also with this one view table queries. So this one is going to help if you don't remember which data type your column is and other stuff, and then generate methods for the connection string, and then this is the connection string that you're going to use. And lastly is generate SQL queries. So these are the queries, and then as you can see here, you have everything. So yeah, those who find it useful and helpful, and then they will use it. And then those who will manage to use MySQL server management, they will continue using MySQL server management.